Greetings, I am Nice.
And I am Scandal.
And let's
play
make a Zen garden together.
Yes.
I am so looking at that curb, though, going, oh my god, your curb is destroyed.
Yes.
Do not build an entire perfect garden before you replace that curb.
Guess what we can do?
Because you know what you'll do? You'll tear it up afterwards.
It's okay. We can replace it. We can
hold
rebuild
on.
the walkway.
Let's build the walkway. Let's do that first. Oh my god.
Yes.
All right, here we go, guys.
All right.
A broken walkway in a Zen garden. There's got to be some kind of saying to go with that. If you meet the Buddha on a broken walkway, kill him. Whoa! A journey of no miles begins with a single broken walkway? That's cute. All right, come on, let's fix it. All right.
That's kind of cute.
That's kind of cute. I'm also like, again, why do you have grass growing in there? Grass is not a decorative piece of things. Grass actually ruins the grout, the spacing. It tears up the stones. It digs in between the cracks.
I was also going to say, guess
them.
what, guys? It also keeps growing. So eventually, over time, it's also going to make the broken walkway broken again.
I was just saying, that's okay, but that doesn't seem to fit. This feels more Zen. I can't explain why. This feels too orderly structured, like industrial.
That's true.
So if we're going for a little more natural, I guess.
I guess?
Woobadoo, walkway restored. Wait, you say woobadoo?
Oh my god,
I'm having a moment.
the biggest crush.
Why? Do you? I would just, you know what, this game, if they wanted to be as progressive as they keep hinting at, they really should have her basically in a, I don't know who I want to date with both of them. Honestly, like an internal struggle of they're both good people and they're both friendly and interested.
Except that
Except for Luke isn't interested and he's not specifically like a good fit for us at all. And we also bag on him all the time.
And Rachel kind of bags on him a little bit too, but it's also like Rachel feels like she's like this level of frustration of going like, okay, my values are not your values and this is very frustrating.
She also has a level of bitterness that implied by the divorce, etc. It could be reasonable. Like sometimes you mean to be a really nice person to your ex and there's just so much built up discomfort, you're sort of preemptively like defending yourself.
Yes.
You're sort of going, I'm being aggressive to keep you back in advance because I just assume you're going to hurt me or step on my toes.
Right, exactly.
And you don't mean to, but it happens that way. Why? Do you? Never mind. Ha! That's it. Luke doesn't like either of us because of Woobadoo.
Right.
Wait a second. Luke doesn't like me?
No. Honestly, that would be, for one time, that would actually be kind of interesting if the character going, I really like you, and him going, I don't, oh dear, what?
I can't read tidied. I got it now, but it's fine.
Oh, did
Let's
you
get
just
these edges tinned up? Yes, I did.
My friend went, I need the boobies.
We're gonna have boobies in the Zen garden. That's fine. Reading is a trip with me. It's okay.
Boobies in the Zen garden. Sounds like a new hot single.
Right? Boobies in the Zen garden. Dun. All right. Tied it up. Yep.
Yes,
There we go.
let's do it.
Let's tidy it. All right. Place edge stones.
Oh.
Yes.
Now, please.
We're gonna place the edge stones.
So we can actually do the other part, maybe?
Yeah, so we can try and do this in an order that makes sense. I'm not sure. Getting these edge stones in order will really get this place looking right. Because what I want to do is get the edge stones gone, set up the garden, and then border it. Like, that's what I want to do.
It's true. Well, it depends on how else you're going to do it and what particular look you're going to
I would say it does, because then you can put in the edging and basically get, I don't know, I'm like, it depends on what you're doing with the gravel and stuff, but I'm just like, I don't want the gravel spreading everywhere, but I also don't want to muss the Zen garden by putting in the edge afterwards. All right. Getting these edge stones in order will really get this place looking right. Or left. Shall we? All right. Oh, dear. Are you going to put the gravel in or not? Bless you. Look at these. It shows gravel down here, so I'm assuming we're going to get that gravel too?
Well, I imagine.
Okay, that one's way straighter. That one's way straighter. Look at this one. This one's like off kilter in places where these ones are flush.
Yeah, that's
a little wild. So you can have an uneven one that's a little less skilled, maybe?
I don't know.
Ones that's more...
Honestly, I think it would be really interesting. Like, I know the whole thing of Zen garden, like Zen itself is an entire field.
Yes.
But it's like, I wish they would actually, again, have that sort of thing in here to give you more context and you more attachment. Kind of like, again, trying to sort of bring you in and going, these are things about this culture that I think are, fun to share.
Yeah.
Or like, here are some neat things about a culture that you're not usually in contact with.
Yep. It's perfect. All right. I love this kind of stuff. Geometric shapes, structure, like, yes. Karen mentioned that. and staring at buildings with your fingers up.
Finger buildings.
I assume she mentioned it in the context of me making her clean her room. No, actually, at all. She actually hasn't talked about her chores in relation to you at all, only that you like things clean. And not specifically, no, but I get the impression she thought Luke might not be so gung-ho about that kind of thing. I like it messy!
I like it messy. All right, who likes it messy?
Oh, well, she's right about that. Like, I don't even know how to answer that question. All right. His house was a sty. No kidding. She's just, okay, so you've got Rachel here going, his house was a sty. She's a little bit like, it's kind of a little embarrassing, a little unfortunate. And Lily going, hi, and no kidding, he's a mess. And I'm like, why is that endearing and charming to her? You've got Rachel, from what I'm reading, going, this is an unfortunate experience that doesn't indicate essentially internal balance for him, nor does it provide a good environment for his daughter or guests, if
or
you will.
even for his own personal health.
Right, exactly.
Like
for his
sometimes
own comfort.
So, in the sense of Marie Kondo, that which does not spark joy, why the fuck is it here?
Additionally, in the experience of psychology and great investigation into people and their lives, clutter doesn't indicate a well-balanced person and environment if it is in your way of functioning.
Yes.
Now, having corners of clutter, whatever, like not having things organized in a certain way specifically, you don't have to have it like magazine or Martha Stewart,
Right.
organized at all.
It doesn't need to look like it's a hotel.
It doesn't need it, one, look like it's a hotel, two, a model home or a show house. But having a really messy environment, there has been, as far as we know, there's 100% correlation with you do better in a cleaner environment.
Which is fine, though I will say, as somebody who basically felt very forced growing up to literally clean up my mother's really expensive houses.
To live in a model home?
Okay,
Yes.
so it felt like living in a model home. So I'm not going to say houses. So we didn't have multiple houses, but anytime we ever lived in a house when I was growing up, I always very much felt like, and I think it happened with my brothers as well, though I won't speak for them, but basically this experience of going like, this is so aggravating, I don't like it. Like, the houses were nice, but there was a level of going like, this doesn't feel very fun or friendly or whatever else to keep up or clean up. I very much felt like I had to do it or nobody else would do it. And my mom especially was like, these are your chores, you need to do them, and I'm never really going to participate. And it was very frustrating a lot of times, especially just going like, I don't care. I didn't want the house to look like this.
I say one of the things that I have mentioned basically is that whoever the cleanest housemate is, whether it's family, roommates, what have you, the one who has the highest standard of cleanliness usually gets the heaviest burden of chores, simply because they're the one that feels it needs done first.
Yes.
And it doesn't always happen. Some people are better at division of labor in that kind of case, of going, this is really what makes me comfortable. So either you can have a schedule of chores and the other person can be like, okay, I understand that I don't care or feel like it needs to be dusted right now, but I know that you will dust it if I don't get it done at this point. So to share the labor with you, I will do it.
Right.
And the thing is, but it is one of those things of going, whoever has the strongest, basically the highest standard of, like, I need this clean.
Right.
And standard, not necessarily putting any moral implication, just a measuring bar.
Right.
All right. Is going to be the one who usually does it, or again, it falls the most burden, like emotional or mental level on them.
Right.
But it is one of those things where, to me, Rachel seemed concerned about it, like this is a thing to address. And Lily's like, he's just a slob, no kidding.
And you're
And
like,
that is
yeah.
like, again, is that what you like about him? What do you like about him? If Lily,
Again,
if you sat
sound
down
like you've really
and
aggressively
wrote
kind
down
of shat on him.
why you have a crush on Luke and what you like about him, what would you put on the paper? That's what I would like to know.
Right. And honestly, I think in some cases that might actually be an interesting exercise, not only for like maybe people to do kind of in their own lives of going like, what am I getting out of this? What am I looking for? What do I feel like is here? Blah, blah, blah. So kind of, again, that whole thing about being mindful. But also doing that for characters is incredibly sometimes enlightening.
It could be really telling to your story structure. Going, I'm writing a romance here and going, okay, if they're both into each other and they have the flutteries, or if one of them is, why do they have those flutteries?
Right.
What's causing it? And if it's just they're so physically hot, this other person can't stand it, you could be like, okay, then where can I go from there? Because that won't carry an entire relationship. Though it will continue to make you have the, flutteries.
Right? Because you go, God, you're just so hot no matter what.
Shit, every time you're around me, I'm like, that is a hot person. Why?
Right? Which again, it's not to say that has no value on its own, but also sometimes people are like, past a point going like, yes, you're attractive. And then basically if they're ever experiencing a day where they're not attractive,
then you don't have any value to connect to.
yes.
Or if they're ever basically make an aesthetic choice that you don't agree with. God, he's just so hot.
Which
He
I always think is
shaves
really
his
interesting
head.
because, wait, hang on. I'm like,
Okay.
it occurs to me actually sometimes I wonder if that's why people are so much like, but my character is attractive and hot all the time, and then they're basically a supernatural creature who can never possibly lose that attractiveness.
Who never
or hot.
changes in appearance at all.
Uh-huh.
Because right now is the crystallized hot.
Yes! Which can be fine!
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm actually going to share one of my characters here. So if you are new to this channel, we share our own role-playing and like OCs sometimes.
Yes.
So what I'm going to say is I have a character who is the hot guy, if you will.
Yes.
But he's in an unconventional sense because this is in like a space opera kind of context, and he is an involuntary shapeshifter, right? So the thing is he's the hot guy, but he's only the hot guy to your standards whenever he's in your area, kind of thing, where your species is or your people are.
Right.
So the thing is my friend saying here, crystallized and never changes, he literally changes all the time whenever he travels or moves. And it's just really it's a really interesting concept of going, so many people really do. They're going, you are the immortal crystallized hot. And he literally is not the same kind of presentation at all from day to day if he's moving from, like sociological environments.
Right, and also time-wise as well, because what he is he is the most socially appropriate hot, and like whatever, based on the target that he's going after.
Based on his target audience that he is exposing himself to.
Which is
But again,
super fascinating and always makes it really hilarious, because then you also have this conversation of going, actually, by the way, people's tastes change over time.
They do.
And some days, actually, you realize going like, I thought this was really hot today, but that thing today is also really hot.
It now has struck me, it struck a chord. Anyway, I find him to be hilarious because whenever I use him, and he's usually an NPC in other people's games, even though he's one of my characters, because I often DM or run the world.
Right.
I would say, anyway, is that they'll be like, oh my God, that character was hot. And I have to use him to inform me of what's going to like set the party off, because it's kind of a balancing act anyway.
Right.
And then if they see him again in a different context, one, they don't usually recognize him at all, and two, that species or whatever he is now isn't their version of hot anymore.
Yep.
And so then you get this experience of someone going, no, love of my life, this person. And then they go, oh my God, horrifying monster. And you're like,
Right.
so what else do you like about them?
Yes.
Don't be Prince Derek. What else is there? What else do you like about them?
Yes.
All right, anyway.
And again, it's one of those things of going like, that can be a good starting point, going, I find they're attractive. Now you're interested. Find more things you connect on.
Yes, what else are you interested in?
But what else?
All right, so no kidding. You've been in there?
I mean, didn't we mention that we went in there to help clean up?
I thought
Like,
she knew. I thought
I
she
did
knew
too.
we were in there and that she knew we had seen it.
I
I thought we'd already had a light commiseration of
I
it,
did
but
too.
I could
Now
be
I'm confused.
misremembering.
I
Just to get dog food for Roxy. Now, does she know the dog's been renamed to Roxy? That's what I need to ask.
imagine she does, because this game.
I want her. Oh God. Okay. I was
Oh,
stuck
dear.
there for a second, and then I was like, she's just latching onto Lily's specificity of anxiety and going, as opposed to what?
Dog food for you.
Going, as opposed to dog food for you.
I'm also like, I swear Rachel knew. So I'm like,
I thought so too.
So sometimes what I get aggravated about in relation to like reading a novel or reading a book.
Okay.
People assume all the time, maybe like, so what you could be having is Lily assuming that Rachel's talking about something. Rachel could literally, like in a normal situation, really is just like, what, as opposed to dog food for you? Like, what are we talking about?
Right.
Oh, you've been in there before. But that's where I'm pointing out, going, Rachel already knows. This is
far as I
specifically,
remember, yeah.
as far as I recall, this is written specifically for the drama to give us and Lily anxiety that, oh no, Rachel might suspect that Lily is interested in Luke,
Yep.
and that they might be boning,
Or
that kind of
something,
thing.
yeah.
And I'm like, that's so, like, I find it to be kind of petty and dumb sometimes.
This is a weird drama of the week thing of going, you've just made a potential new friend, but it's going to be ruined by your love interest.
Because the fact is that your potential new friend is the ex-wife. Oh no. But I'm like, really, like, it bugs me because we've already established that Rachel should know. And I think Rachel's even talked about it, going like, thank you for helping Luke clean up.
That's what I thought so, too.
That's why I'm like, this is so freaking weird.
It feels very weird.
And also going, you know that she comes over to pick up the dog
Right.
at this point. point. Like, this is a thing that happens sometimes.
As well as the
far as
amount
I
of
can
daycare. Like there could be like if I just got to my ex-husband's house and he had someone coming over helping him clean up his area and his land, watching his daughter and watching his dog, I just assumed they were involved unless he said they weren't.
Right. Well, and that's the
Now I wouldn't assume there's a
Right.
label on it yet, but I would assume there's something going on.
Right.
Now it wouldn't be a bad thing necessarily, like oh something's going on. It'd just be like oh you clearly have something going on together.
Right, and it could be like, this is a new friend, cool. It's also like, maybe you're
I
just too
wouldn't
stressed
think
out.
new friend if they're giving up days to help him move heavy stuff in his yard and just together redecorate the entire thing.
Oh, that's
I would
fair.
assume something closer. That doesn't mean that's what it is, but it also wouldn't change my behavior towards them. I assume there's either strong interest on one side or the other
Right.
because you're going to so much effort.
But the reason why, though, again, I think this is important to point out is because then you're going like, writer, what are you going for? Or
Right?
writers.
What is the point of this?
Like, what's the point of this? We're just trying to cause drama when we already know that Rachel already knows. Like, it either seems like bad writing or just like, it doesn't really matter and you shouldn't be taking all this seriously.
Don't dig in too deeply. We just gotta, we set up with her being nervous that she'll find out in the morning or that this will be a conflict because of her dream. And now we're
Look.
putting the conflict into place.
Aha!
And going, but you have to look at the rest of your framework.
Right, and then kind of going, so is the rest of your story kind of invalid and this doesn't really matter as much? What? No, I don't like it. It's
All right, well,
fine.
let's
start building on
rock
rock
garden
gardens,
to
I
the
guess.
west.
I don't know.
To
maybe-
the west, to the west, to
I
the
just
west.
don't like it. It bugs me.
All right. And then also going, where would that conversation fit in now with this?
Right?
So that's the one again of going, you're progressive of what you can buy with your stars that show the story. I get that you want people to be able to buy them in any order and they should work, but some of the conversations don't work.
They really
And
don't.
I appreciate that you're trying to, I assume, give the player some choice, not just click through something linear, but decide they can avoid their problems, decide they can focus on this first that they'd like to see. And especially if you are at a star, like a star cap, basically you haven't made it through any levels and you only have enough stars to do one thing, to have an option to do a type of thing that you would enjoy doing or want to see the answer to.
Or also something that you can just afford.
Well, yeah,
Right?
that, like, there's different prices so you can afford
Yeah.
something. I say, but at the same time, the narratives don't work for me a number of times, and we've pointed out a few times, going, this conversation doesn't work following that conversation.
Yeah, they
So
stand out really weirdly.
I feel like it would be again better to fit them into the narrative where when Lily says, hey, this thing is that I focused on, then you know that's the button to put into next if you know if you want them in
right,
order.
and yeah,
And you don't have to have them in order. You can leave it the same way it is. But if it's in her dialogue, where I've talked about tasks that are in her dialogue versus ones that aren't, jingles. I was gonna say, then there's this experience of going, I know what's expected to come next.
Right.
Even if I'd rather choose something else, so then I can know these were going to happen in this order, even if I didn't choose it.
Right.
Sort of like reading ahead in a novel and then coming back. You don't go,
Right.
well, it was written badly because I read ahead.
Right?
You know?
Yeah.
Anyway, so the rocks represent mountains. Yeah. Usually something of spiritual or mythological importance. Like that dog there. Oh,
The dog is a mountain. The dog is going to make a mountain.
she might. Well, I don't have any of that stuff, so I guess I'll depict the Sierra Nevadas. That's kind of charming.
That is kind of cute, actually.
Those are as good mountains as any. As good a mountains, as good a mountains?
Are as good mountains as any.
That doesn't feel right.
That doesn't feel right either. As good a mountains as Anyway, go ahead. It's
Those
fine.
are as good a mountains as any. All right, here we go. Sierra Nevada. These can't all be the Sierra Nevada, can they? All right, well,
This
I
is
don't
your
like
Sierra
those.
Nevada? You're
Not so much.
kidding.
How is this your Sierra Nevada? Fine, that's fine.
I
Peak performance. Look at her
Ah.
laughing. I love Rachel laughing. It's very charming.
It is very
It
cute.
looks very genuine to me, the way it's illustrated. All right, I like it. And you can do a different one on the other side. Don't forget.
Yay!
Nope, they have to be perfectly balanced. Okay, now for the gravel on this side. Actually, I think she would be more direct. She's just kind of taken over to directing. Okay, now for the gravel on this side. Where there's that thing where somebody, when they're really competent about something and they're very comfortable, they'll then start directing even without meaning to because they know what comes next.
Right, exactly.
I think so. I shouldn't have read that as a question. I think they had that spot on.
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Next one, more Rock Garden West.
Yep.
Oh,
Whoop.
nope.
Hang on.
Nope.
We've gotten
Well,
further through the day,
It's
and
okay.
it's time.
So that's okay. Well, thank you very much, guys, then for joining us. If you like we do, then feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And also, feel free to actually go check out our Ko-Fi and our Patreon. We would really appreciate it. Up in, down in the description down below, we have
Yes.
some links. And other than that, though, I have been Scandal.
And I have been Lies. And it was
It was
great playing with you. Bye.